Ladies and gentlemen, and all genders outside and in between, this campaign is set in a dark and twisted world, and some subjects may be quite triggering, and is not suitable for people of a sensitive nature. Thank you.
Sometimes a light in the dark is a blessing. Sometimes it's a warning. A lot of the time, the distinction between the two remains hard to make until you're absolutely sure, one way or the other. And if it is a warning, it usually comes too late. Perhaps similar thoughts are running through your minds as you stare out towards the bay just ahead of you, perhaps 100 feet or so to where a sharp ridge of sheer cliff drops into the ocean. Just over that ridge, a blue-green bioluminescent glow is seeping into the water like a growing stain. Behind you, the warmth and smell of oil burning reminds you of the light you briefly had from the lighthouse, and the blown-out glass and dark lenses remind you of how fleeting it was. Now you are left in the dark, apart from your lanterns and that far-off glow.
All right, we don't have to. I suggest we stay here. We don't have to go there, right? Well, we don't have an objective there. We could just stay here. We have got something to drink. Who votes for staying here?
I think we should go. I think we should check it out, honestly.
Why?
Because being up here does not seem like the winning play. I don't know. I don't know. Unless we do you have any food? Because if you have any more pastries, then I'm on board. But if we only have something to drink, then we got to go somewhere else.
What's left in the basket?
You don't want to know what's left in the basket.
All right.
It's bad.
We are fresh out of pastries. You may stay here if you wish, Dagmar, but our time is running short.
Maya, final vote?
I believe we must go and see the answers that lie ahead of us.
There it is.
Right. Fine. I let the record show I said it was a bad idea.
All right. As you all head back down the lighthouse, probably takes some going, what with the broken staircase in the way. However, you've all navigated it once before, and Maya, the crow on your shoulder, Ingeborg, seems very determined to help you out. As you all step up to the gap, they leap from your shoulder and coast along whatever drafts and winds they can find in the air, helping you across one by one. And you manage to make your way down into the main room where you can let yourselves out into the island proper. The driving rain is still pounding against the windows, but the mist, luckily, has abated enough for you to see your way. The rain hits you immediately as you leave. Stepping out into the downpour, it's cold and heavy, enough to cause you to step with urgency, mud forming clumsy patterns up your legs as you and your comrades push through it towards the cliff's edge. Reaching the sheer drop, you see where part of the cliff has been chiseled away into a staircase leading downwards. Directly below you is a sheltered cove. The waves roll into a C-shaped bay, but break on the rocks before they enter, snatching the fury from them and causing it to be a small pocket of calm in the chaos of the water beyond. A small private dock has been built on top of the slip of beach that the staircase leads down to. 3 piers sticking out into the ocean, with a wood-constructed cabin on one end, cozied up to the rocks of the cliff face, and a cave entrance on the other side, leading into darkness. The luminous blue glow seems centered around the docks themselves, forming an undulating, underlit pool.
In Astrid's studies on just general things, has she read anything about this?
Specifically about the bioluminescence?
Yes, and in this area.
Understood. Please make me a logic and learning test to see what you can recall.
Two successes.
2 successes, very well. As you dig into your memories, you begin to remember your brief sojourn into the more maritime fields of your education and what lingered around sort of the more coastal regions of Sweden. You're aware that bioluminescence is a fairly common natural phenomena, common in the fact that many people have seen it. Usually it's caused by various algal pockets, small underwater plants that cling to the rock faces, often sort of spurred on by some sort of underwater disturbance or change in their conditions. However, you've not heard of any particular bioluminescent plant life around this particular area, certainly not this close to the north of Sweden, and not this far inland.
This is very strange. These plants should not be glowing here. I suppose yet a further sign that we are in the right place.
So there's a cabin there. Should we check it out? Should we not check it out? I mean, we're all kind of wet. I'm sure we're tired. I'm sure there's, we do a lot, That too. And if we can just see if someone's home, and if not, we can make ourselves a home since no one's using it,
I'm with you.
We may be able to dry off a bit before pressing on. Yes. Not a bad idea.
All right, we take those. Maya, final vote.
Let us press on.
All right. As you make your way down the staircase, it's awfully steep. Several times you have to pause and brace yourself on the sides of the sharp crags of rock directly beside you, sort of cozying yourself into the cliff face in order not to fall. Luckily, though, between yourself and your comrades, you're able to make it down without incident. The first thing you notice as you reach the bottom of the staircase is how quiet it is. This far down and sheltered by the towering cliffs on either side, the wind can't reach you, and even the downpour seems to have become somewhat gentler. Instead of ripping into you It now simply taps, gentle but insistent, like someone trying to get your attention. As you get closer, you can see that the door to the cabin has been left ajar, and inside it is dark, but bereft of movement.
Door's already open. Dagmar, you're amazing. How did you unlock it before we even got here?
You see, I knew, and it's just, it's power of the mind, my friend.
Wow, you really can't unlock anything, huh? Goodness
It's
gracious.
true.
Well, let us not lollygag out here, Dagmar. Since you expertly unlocked this door, please do the honors.
Okay. Dagmar steps inside with, holding up the lantern.
Understood. As you push open the door, you step inside a very well-appointed office. The hinges barely creak as you push it. Much unlike many other the places that you've seen in this island, this place seems in extremely good nick. It seems like an unassuming boathouse from the outside, but inside it resembles a plush parlor. A high-backed plush chair sits pulled tight against a large mahogany desk, both decorated with whorls of silver and deep green. Once again, however, things have been rifled through, but this time it doesn't look like anything obvious has been taken. Papers still remain loosely in their files, as though haphazardly jammed back in after having been rifled through. The open drawers of the filing cabinets seem perused, but still full, and the jumbled books in the bookcases have no obvious gaps amongst them. At the back behind the desk, there is a door leading to a sectioned off part of the cabin that is currently closed. There is also a waste paper bin beside the side of the desk that seems to be full to bursting.
Dagmar plops on the comfy chair and is just stroking it and settling in it and just getting comfy for a while.
Dagmar, roll me your empathy and observation, please.
Absolutely. All right. Yes. I have no successes.
No successes.
I'm too comfortable.
It is extremely comfortable. There's also a smell to it. Somewhat cloying and floral, maybe, but you can't quite place it.
All right.
What is it, Dagmar?
This chair smells kind of nice.
Huh.
Smelling chairs now.
I mean, I want to smell it, so I'm gonna let me smell the chair.
Want to smell the chair?
Yeah, I want to smell it.
Okay. The same roll from you, please, Johan. Empathy and observation.
All right. All right. One success. This does smell pretty good.
It does. It's a sort of... It's that musky sort of floral smell of something that has been made using pressed types of flora, but is at the same time trying not to be too floral. You get the sense that it's a kind of cologne that has been so often worn by whoever sat here that it has permeated into the cushions themselves.
That's pretty good smelling stuff. I mean, I'd probably use it, I probably could use it at this point. Been through hell and back, but good stuff here. Good stuff. So when you're done with the chair, dibs, just letting you know.
You know what you should smell? And Dagmar grabs the mug with the H on it that she stole earlier and pours liquor in it and hands it to Johan. Inspiration.
I do enjoy myself some good inspiration.
While this inanity is happening behind her, Astrid turns and starts to poke through the papers that are strewn about.
Understood. Where are you headed first? There is a desk, some filing cabinets, a bookshelf, and a waste paper bin.
Oh, the bookshelf.
The bookshelf, very well. Roll me your logic and investigation, please, Astrid.
One success.
Fantastic. Predominantly, you see books on the fishing industry. There are scientific papers on the most profitable regions of trade, the best places to sell around this area, and books on the biggest competitors, many of which have been dog-eared slightly. Those that show particularly promising revenue streams have even been marked with various slips of paper that designate whether they've been bought or not by Lysander Douglas, many of which are to the affirmative. More than that, there are also books on steelsmithing, from refining to importing and exporting it. There are also, tucked almost just out of notice, at the very, very back at the top of the bookshelf, books on the noble families of Sweden, almost on top of a certain stack, as though whoever placed them here wished them to be just out of sight.
People here had a strange obsession with the noble families. Any of you know anything about the nobility of the land?
Not a clue.
I've robbed a house or two.
Only once or twice? Okay, it's not too bad. Nice.
It is quite noble in and of itself.
Yeah.
Why do you ask?
Oh, this is the second room with books on nobility in the middle of what is supposedly a fishing island. It seems very strange to be simply, light reading, diversion.
Dagmar gets up and it's like, show me. What book?
Certainly. Take a look for yourself.
It seems to be a sort of encyclopedia, almost like a dossier on the various lineages of the Swedish nobility. There are quite a few large names listed, their family trees, their most recent heirs, and also, in certain places, where the bloodline ended.
All right. Dagmar kind of like walks around the room, like flipping through it, reading. And I would like to kind of turn my back to everyone else. And I'd like to look for a certain lineage.
You may indeed. Please make me your logic and your learning. Take an additional dice for this, please, Dagmar.
All right. Please, RNG. One success.
One success, excellent. You begin to flip through this book, and sure enough, after a while, you find what you're looking for. The name Douglas catches your eye, and you begin to see familiar names. You begin to see the name of an old uncle that you knew a long time ago. You begin to see an aunt. Is that a grandpa? Perhaps someone who you met at a party back in the day. And closer names still, names that you can still remember the faces they were attached to and the feelings that those people evoked in you. You notice that the Douglas lineage is one of the very few in this book that seem to not have a particularly extensive history documented.
I'm still standing with my back to everyone else, and I'd like to perform a move that Dagmar has already pulled before, which is trying to tear out this page out of the book without anyone noticing.
Understood. I will ask you in that case for yet another roll, Dagmar. Let's go with your precision and your stealth. Now, it should also be noted that this roll will probably be significantly more difficult than before when you were trying to outsmart Johan. The other three in the room are not quite as distracted as you would hope.
I get that. That's all right. Nothing.
Maya, Johan, and Astrid, as you make your way around the room, perhaps you're amusing yourself with having a look through various things, perhaps you're just sort of waiting for the next shoe to drop, perhaps you're looking over even at Dagmar as she curiously turns her back to you, and it's as she does this, you begin to hear the telltale sounds of paper being torn, and the jerky movements that show that Dagmar is probably the one making those noises.
Did you find something interesting there, Dagmar? Something worth scrapbooking, perhaps?
I did. I would like to stealthily grab the page that I ripped from the other book and hold it up like I just ripped it out.
Okay. In order to pull off this maneuver, I'm going to ask you to re-roll that stealth. As it is a whole new maneuver, we shan't relegate you to the previous outcome.
Okay. 1 success.
1 success, all right. You notice as Dagmar sort of performs an odd motion with her hands. You're not quite quick enough to catch exactly what she's done, but sure as anything, she turns around and offers you all a piece of paper that she seems to have torn from somewhere.
Astrid takes it and sees... Was it a manifest?
You see a fishing ledger, yes.
Dagmar, this...
I thought
These are not
this was...
royal families.
That's what I thought. I thought it was a little odd. I mean, there must be up with something on this page, right? And Dagmar looks at the paper as Astrid is holding it and starts reading the names out loud, like the companies, and keeps peeking over at Johan.
Could I see the book again, please?
Sure. Is there a reaction from Johan in the meantime?
This is interesting. Johan, as Dagmar is reading out these names, you know that one of them... First of all, you didn't notice that she'd even taken anything from that ledger.
Very confused.
It's very perplexing, but second of all, you realize as she's rattling off the names, you realize that she's rattling off the names of the page of the ledger where that particular shipping company is also named. And you can pretty much surmise that she's going to get there sooner or later. What's passing through Johan's mind at this moment?
Very, very confused. And I'm just gonna ask Dagmar, I mean, were you that confused? I mean, you could just ask me. I would have told you. We were just in a hurry. We were just trying to get in and out of everything. But if you need to know, I was about a month ago, I was on a mission that required this company. And honestly, it was really strange. There was people were going missing. And I really kind of couldn't get to the bottom of this massive conspiracy, and it stressed me out so badly, so badly. And because I couldn't quite figure it out, it was always in the back of my head. And then I saw this and I was like, that's so weird, but that's not what we're here for though. But maybe one and the two could be the same. I'm not sure. I didn't have any answers. So I figured it wasn't really worth bringing up until I had something to tell you other than, I don't know, So that's all I got.
Well,
Johan,
it seems like we're all tied here.
I suppose we are. But, Johan, when did you see this paper?
I think it was right before you guys came upstairs when Dagmar and I were looking around.
Oh, interesting. So, Dagmar, this paper, I think you confused it with a different paper.
Oh no, what's in this book?
Has Dagmar passed over the book to Astrid?
Do you pass over the book, Dagmar?
Not yet. I'm still in a conversation.
All right.
Astrid reaches out, hands out. Could I see the book, please?
I reluctantly hand over the book, but you can't see what page I was.
True. Astrid does not believe that these are from the same book, a fishing manifest and a book on nobility, and wants to compare the pages, the paper, the ink, the writing, handwritten versus not.
Yes. I will not make you roll for this, as they are rather different in type. One is a very well-illuminated, extremely painstakingly printed book on Swedish nobility, including fine illuminations around the lettering. The beginning of the chapter, you can see sort of these beautiful, minuscule details of drawings around the capital letters beginning each sentence. You look at the ledger, however, and it seems almost like the handwriting is not on a level between the different entries. It seems like a different person every time has written each entry into this ledger. For example, the last company mentioned, Aspicientis, is in rather neat handwriting. The companies shortly before that, however, is almost complete chicken scratch. It's almost completely indecipherable.
What did you find, Astrid?
Oh, just it's very interesting, this book, you know. Very interesting. Dagmar. Well, I appreciate that we are moving into a period of greater trust in each other. I would appreciate if you do not lie to me. I am no fool. If you wish to keep your secrets, very well, but don't do this again.
What are you talking? Was that not the page from that book?
Crumples the paper and shoves it into her, just into her hand.
I don't know what to do with this. Are you accusing me of not knowing anything about books? Because in that case, you're right. I don't know why this page was in here. And I go to the bin to drop it in there and, maybe look around some more.
Okay. Where are you looking next?
Yeah, in the bin. That's so full of stuff.
All right. You sort of drop this piece of paper into the bin, begin digging around. You find a lot of letters, actually. As you begin flipping through them, you see that they are well-penned, extremely uniform, standardized letters of some sort of official notice. Records of transfer requests to the lighthouse. And 3 names keep cropping up as you flick through them. Alice, Clark, and Harrison. Over and over and over again.
As in they wrote the letters or they got transferred?
It seems like they did not write the letters themselves, but they put in the request for transfer and were approved.
Oh. Hey, more stuff about Alice and those other 2. What do transfers mean? No one?
I mean, I was waiting for Astrid to say something. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know.
Oh no, please, it is
Astrid.
clear that you have all this under control.
I mean, I would suggest I don't. I mean, I didn't want to come here in the first place. And also, I don't really know Alice. So I hand it over to Astrid. But be my guest if you want to ignore it.
Astrid, are you feeling okay? You seem a little tense, Granny.
Astrid takes the book, turns on her heel, and walks out the door.
Understood. The rest of you watch Astrid go with a mixture of emotions, from confusion to resignation, as she exits and the door swings shut behind her.
Friends.
So dramatic.
But one of us should follow.
Should we?
I will. I will follow. I will speak to Astrid.
Understood. Maya, you exit the cabin also. Dagmar and Johan, what would you like to do whilst you're left in here to your own devices?
Well, first of all, I'm just going to ask Dagmar, why didn't you just ask me about the page? I'm so confused why you kept it.
The page? The page that was in the book?
Yeah, that page.
I mean, I don't know anything about the page. Like, so there is a company on there that you worked with? That's now all I know.
Yeah, more like it was one of the missions I was on, again, about a month before everything kind of went down. And it was one of the companies I kind of like tried to help take down. It was really, really weird. It was way above my pay grade, but we were trying to figure it out. And it just didn't quite really get solved. So I didn't really have any answers. But I mean, you could have just asked me. I don't know why you kind of held on to that. It's so weird.
So wait, you worked to take down this company, or you worked for the company?
No, take him down. I wasn't trying to work for the company.
But for who were you working for then?
The society.
Oh, okay. Huh. All right.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
Dak-
I don't know. So then what was Astrid so upset about? Because I feel like there was something else going on that was like well above my lack of knowledge for the mission that I was on.
Astrid has been trying to take me down ever since I got here, basically. I don't know what she's trying to get at, but all I know is that she is not nearly as trustworthy as she poses to be, and I'm honestly kind of done with it. So...
What do you mean? Astrid's our friend. Astrid's helped us this entire time.
Has she, though, or has she been kind of condescending the entire time?
Well, she's old, so that's just kind of how she talks, you know?
She talks like she knows more than she lets on, and I should know. And, you know, I know it's kind of hypocritical, but I don't prefer to be talked to that way. And then I tend to be kind of petty. It's not my strongest quality, but it's quality.
Okay, fair. And you've been doing a great job with the growth, you know, again, only robbing 2 houses. It could have been a lot more. Doing great, by the way. Appreciate you. See your hard work. But I think you should give Astrid a chance. I think you two just need to talk it out, and then we'll be A-okay. And then, you know, if we all get along, this whole entire trip will be a lot easier to get through if we're all working together on the same page.
I tried talking to Astrid. And yet here we are. The thing with Astrid is I don't think she has or ever will accept me for who I am. And I've had enough of that already. So I'm not going to make myself smaller.
Words aren't enough, and you have to bond during combat. So I say you guys train it out and start just duking it out and speak through fists.
You know what? You're right. I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. I'll take on Astrid any day.
Yes? Oh my goodness. I'm excited about this. All right. Well, as soon as they get back, I will propose this and I will help delegate, and this is going to be awesome. You guys are going to be so much closer. This is great.
You can be the referee.
Oh my gosh. Do I get a whistle?
if we can find one.
Okay.
Wait,
maybe we can like
one.
chisel. You have a whistle?
Well, it's not a whistle.
goodness.
It's an ocarina, but like it'll work.
No, that'll definitely work. I can like poke more holes. Okay, we have it all figured out. This is awesome.
And like I take a quick look around the room if I see anything of worth again, but other than that.
Understood.
And I just go back to the chair.
Going back to the chair, fair enough. Dagmar, your logic and investigation, please.
All right. One success.
One success. Excellent. You begin to look around. At first, you don't really see anything of supreme note. The bookshelves are as Astrid describes, the waste paper basket you've already been through, but eventually you are drawn to the filing cabinet and to the desk. The files you see mostly include employee records, books on the financial records of the company, Le Sang de Douglas, quarterly reports, and other such paperwork. The one closest to the front is a brown manila folder with "Under Investigation" written on it.
I look inside.
Within the folder are the employment records for the names you have seen previously: Alice, Harrison, and Clark, containing evidence linking them to revolutionary groups and anti-monarchy protests. Regarding Alice in particular, there are details on her close family and friends and where they live in the county of Stockholm.
This is odd.
What you got there?
So it's a lot more information on Alice. I honestly don't know what to make of all of this. Like, she's part of the society, right? And wasn't this island part of the society? Isn't this like this was our rendezvous point if anything went wrong, like, and it's all connected, and I don't understand.
Yeah, same. I wasn't sure how well Astrid knew Alice either, but just kind of going with the flow and trying to figure this whole thing out. But maybe we should probably figure out more about this Alice person and see what exactly is going on here. It's kind of getting weirder and weirder by the minute.
Well, it has like all of her like relative information on here, but I don't think it's anywhere close. I don't think we can like contact any of these people. Oh well.
Yeah, we tried.
As you continue looking around, you also find on the desk bundles of correspondence, neatly bound letters, most of which are between one correspondent and one receiver.
Who are they? I look into them.
You look into them, they are broken seals, so they have been read before you. They are all addressed to a Lord Wenzel Ångström from a Johan. And all of them have been redacted using black ink, so that the most important information is for the most part completely obscured.
Johan.
Yes.
Does the name Wenzel mean anything to you?
Wenzel.
Make me your observation and empathy roll, please, Johan. Let's see.
All right.
I would like to add that I have a +1 empathy and observation roll when I'm reading people.
All right. Would you like to help Johan remember? Sort of try and jog his memory, leading questions and the like?
Yes.
All right. In that case, if you would like to add an additional dice for your help and then also add your additional dice from your advantage, I will allow that.
Cool.
So, Johan, you're rolling with 2 additional dice for this.
Oh, 2 additional dice. Oh, right. Nice.
Dagmar, please note that your advantage after this is no longer applicable.
Oh, okay.
One success.
One success. As you sort of jog your memories, you can't help but think that maybe that name is a little familiar. Thinking of where, when, how. Oh gosh, was it? It was a month ago. Yes, it was a month ago. When you were looking into the Aspicientis company, a name kept cropping up on various, one specific letter that was almost completely redacted. That was, in fact, from a Vaesen Armstrong.
I can kind of remember this whole situation, but the biggest takeaway from all of the things that I was looking into was there was a massive conspiracy of people going missing. And the more I think about it, people kind of keep going, like everywhere we go, people are just like not really around anymore. I don't know if there's a connection to it, but it's getting kind of weird and it slapped me in the face a little bit here. But I don't know. I'm gonna need more time to like sit here and think about this.
Well, maybe you should come over here because your name is on these letters.
Well, that's not good. Gonna go look at the letters and read them?
You see much the same, all completely redacted, and to a Vaesen Armstrong from someone called Johan.
And it couldn't be you?
You don't recognize them?
I do not recognize them, no.
Is it your handwriting?
Not that I know of. Was I like blacked out and walking around just like signing random documents? I don't.
Well, I guess there's other people named Johan, right?
I mean, that's true, but I would like to think that I'm an original personally, but yeah, maybe.
There's only one Johan like you, that's for sure.
We take those.
Can you keep a secret, Johan?
Yeah, shoot.
Okay, so I'll let you in on a little bit of a secret. The reason why I'm not talking to Astrid is because, as you probably can tell, we're all weirdly connected to this island or whatever is going on here, right? And I think a lot of this might be connected to my past. Now, I have very, very good reason to stay away from the people from my past. And so whenever I find something that might hint towards that, I'm not sure who I can trust. And one person I don't trust is Astrid. So, yes, I was trying to take something without her noticing, but I only want to protect myself. And I'm letting you know that my past is entwined with all of this, just so you know that you can still trust me.
Well, listen, Dagmar. I mean, I've known you for a little while now, and you've been nothing but good to everybody. Yeah, you get the occasional sticky fingers, but like, you know, it's like a goblet here and some inspiration juice there. But, you know, all in all, you've always looked out for us. Like, I don't know, you're a friend. So I feel like no matter what happened in the past with your family and everything, you're not those people, you know? So I feel like, you know, Astrid should come around, and once Astrid thinks about it more, she'll also realize that you're a friend of ours. So I'm here to help you look through all the rest of this stuff too. And no matter what we find, I know the Dagmar that you are now, and that's all that matters.
I appreciate that, John. Just don't tell her yet, okay? Just let me work through it.
I got you. That's up to you guys. But also get the whistle ready. I'm just saying, I'm looking forward to it.
On it.
Perfect.
Okay, we will cut away from this scene ever so briefly to Maya and Astrid. Astrid, as you have strode out of this cabin and into, once again, the bracing coastal air, you feel the chill of it wind through your bones, grateful for the cover that the cove affords you as the rain lessens and the wind isn't howling quite as loudly as it could have been otherwise. Coming to stand on the docks where the blue-green algal glow from beneath the wooden planking stretches out for maybe 50 feet, extended into the cove proper. You then hear the light sort of footfalls of Maya, the dancing, lithe gait approaching you from the side.
Astrid? Astrid,
Maya, yes.
what appears to be boggling your mind, friend?
Where to begin?
Then begin. My ears are open.
Maya, I have the certainty that none of us will come out of this unharmed.
I believe you may be right in that assumption. Our path does look rather prickly, if I'm honest. But that should not stop us from going onwards. There can be growth from pain.
Maya, for a year now? Has it been a year already? You and Johan and Dagmar have been at the castle, filling its space a bit. And through that time I have tried to make sure we are all fed and warm, taken care of. And now here we are in this thing that is beyond all of us, that is tying all of you to each other in some strange way. And if any of us are to come through this, no, not unharmed, but alive, I fear that the harm that may come to us if we continue these secrets, these lies to one another, that harm will be deadly and not just an opportunity for growth.
With this, Maya places one hand upon Astrid. Astrid, those who are struggling will lie, will often deceive, and will keep secrets, but that should not take away from who they may be. I assume you must be on about Dagmar, considering the verbal exchange that we just witnessed, and the rising tensions that seems to be coming across the two of you. I truly believe that Dagmar is trustworthy and is a good soul within. Although I know that you may not believe me, as you say, she may have been lying, maybe keeping secrets, but I truly believe within, Dagmar is looking outwards upon us all. Often looking towards our journey together rather than a journey upon her own. I have witnessed that she is also appearing to be struggling with the things that we are coming across. The fact that I am also seeing things that are connecting me to possibly Dagmar and possibly Johan and also yourself upon this land. There is something within the very earth that we are treading upon that is connecting us all. And I feel as though we can let go of secrets, lies, things that may hurt us. For at the very depths of this journey, we have been going onwards together. For as far as we are aware, our home is upon our backs. We are home. We are together. We have been going from our original destination, going up in flames. But together we have been warming each other up, boosting each other. We have been waving the flags upon our journey for one another. I don't feel as though you should latch on to these transgressions between you and Dagmar. You know, I feel as though at the heart of hearts of it all, you both, in some sort of way, care for one another. And that may be why you are hurting so. Think of what you have accomplished with us all together.
What if it's not enough?
It may not be. But we will only know for each step we take onwards in our journey together. What is life without risk? We have all been through something awfully nightmarish upon our backs. We do not truly know each other's histories. But we know who we are now, and that should keep us going. Astrid, I truly believe that we are one together. For how else has our paths drawn us together to keep us going?
Maya, please make me your empathy and inspiration roll with any additional bonuses that you have from your items or your advantage.
I've managed one success.
One success. Astrid, as Maya's words resound in your mind, there is a lull in the tempestuous noise of the wind and the rains, a brief moment of clarity and of quiet, a moment where suddenly things make sense, just briefly, but it's there. And as this happens, you take a deep breath in, you feel the way the sharp sting of the salt water enters your lungs and reminds you that you are alive. And you're still here despite the adversity you've faced. And you may take back one mental condition of your choice, putting you down to 2 mental conditions.
Thank you, Maya.
No thanks needed, friend. It is what we have to do for one another, is it not?
You are quite correct. Go on back in out of this rain. I will join you in a moment.
Okay, Astrid. Please don't take too long, okay? The warmth is inside with us all. And with this, I ever so slowly walk back into the warmth of the others. Although not quite a full fireplace, as one might say. We need one more little ember to join us.
Of course. As you re-enter the cabin, the door sort of slowly creaks shut behind you. And Astrid, you're left in a moment of quiet contemplation, standing on the docks here, in this place of strange things and strangers. A little calmer than you were a few minutes ago, but still not completely okay with what's happened. What's running through your mind?
There's so much worry about how the time to become comfortable with one another, to share and truly become a single unit is running out. How so many times it seemed it had already run out, and it is only through a trick of fate that we have been able to struggle past and through and onto the next challenge. And fear for what lies ahead should they survive. They're still trapped on an island. Nothing around, no one, no food.
It's a tricky conundrum. Your logic leads you to one place, your empathy to another. Perhaps they can reconcile themselves in time. It's as you ruminate on this that you hear something that at first you think must be the resonance of your own mind. But then you realize the reason it's familiar is not because it is intrinsic to yourself. It is simply something you have heard so many times whilst on this island that it's become like background noise. From somewhere below you, there's a low, lilting tune, a sing-song familiar lullaby. You understand what it's saying, and the chill runs through your bones at the total lack of feeling in the vocals. There is no anger, no recklessness, no rage, no anything. It's just duty. You who gave me the life of the unwilling, you who sacrificed what was not yours to give, you will die by what you fear the most.
Astrid bolts back to the cabin.
Understood. The rest of you, as Maya enters the cabin once again, a short half a minute to a minute after her, Astrid rejoins you, bolting through the door, as though in a hurry.
We are not alone. We are not alone here. The siren is in the waters.
Oh.
Didn't see that coming. Okay. So is this a bad time to ask if you want to have a sparring match with Dagmar or no? Never mind. We should probably focus on that.
Time for jokes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We should push on.
Joking, but yes. Well, where are we going? Make a move.
The only place left. The cavern.
But how about... Do you not see that door that begs to be opened over there?
I want to know what's behind that door.
It looks locked. I'm going to go and kick it down.
Understood. Johan, bold and brave as ever, squares up to the door and delivers a solid kick. Let's see the force you can put behind it. Roll me your physique and your force, please.
All right. 2 successes. Let's go.
You are indeed more than a match for this door, sir.
No door holds me back.
Quite. As you put the boot into this door, you hear the thunk of metal shattering under your sole. You feel the door splinter in places as it flies open and collides with the side of the cabin with a resounding bang that echoes around the small interior that you're stood in and the cove outside. However, you have successfully broken in to whatever room lies beyond, and you see a small side room. The dust of it is enough to almost make you wheeze as you enter. Inside, there are more thick tomes on bookshelves, some of which look seriously neglected, and some of which look shiny and new. Besides one bookcase is a well-arranged workspace of eclectic equipment under a shelving unit of bottles, vials, small pouches filled with a riot of different ingredients. And at the back of the room, perhaps most curiously, is an oaken display cabinet. completely opaque, upon which are a small stack of papers, much like the ones you just saw on the desk, Dagmar and Johan, which are also bound with string and bear a broken seal.
Dagmar goes over to the letters, like she still has the letters in her hand from the desk, and like goes to check those letters.
All right, easy enough. At the back of the room, you find more such letters to Lord Armstrong from a certain individual, but this time it's interesting. You look again closer at the sender. Johan? No, that's not quite right. On these letters, the name is ever so slightly different. It's been altered. 2 letters have been switched. What once said Johan now says Jonah. There is a map here. A map with blueprints that has been tucked inside one of these letters. Each one, the one at the very top, wherein this map is enclosed, contains the details of the fall of the society. This Jonah writes to Lord Enstrom that the society will be putting their escape plans into action soon. He speaks of how the members of the Untitled Chapter plan their escape plan to be passing through Vreta Island, how they will meet up with a contact by the name of Alice, who has very distinctive red hair, how they're not sure where the group is going from there, as their interrogation of a society member didn't bear any further fruit, but they mention wanting to do more digging if Armstrong keeps up the pay. In the letter, Jonah gives the names of each of you that you have been using in your capacity with the society. Dagmar's name, your name, has been circled in a shaky hand. Next to it is a small note that reads, "A land full of lambs awaiting the slaughter. It is my lot to choose which go to the block, but I am not King Cepheus, and I cannot send them my Andromeda."
I think it was all a trap. I think they knew we were coming. They were... I don't know who, and I don't know why, but I think they knew. They knew that we were gonna go here if the castle would fall, and they were... If they know that we're here... Johan, the name is changed. It's no longer Johan. It says Jonah now. Do we know a Jonah?
I don't know what Jonah. Did they mean to put Jonah the first time and just mix the letters around? I don't
know.
All of you roll me your logic and learning, please.
Two successes.
One success.
One success.
No successes.
Johan, unfortunately, the name doesn't ring any bells.
I figured.
Dagmar and Maya. Somehow, it does. As you look at these letters, you notice how odd it is that on the name Jonah, it seems like the 2 letters that have been switched from Johan to Jonah, the H and the N, what markings would change that name have been added on after the fact. You've seen this every so often in correspondence that the Society has passed through to various code breakers. Nothing more than that, though. You had assumed it was simply an odd phenomena, perhaps someone just in a black market circle getting uppity. Astrid, however, you took note of the context in which these letters were often passed through. a lot of the time, this interchanging name with the added on after details appeared only in correspondence regarding the underbelly of Sweden. The people who operate in mystical circles outside of the society and delight in doing so, often to the detriment of everyone around them, but not to the detriment of their purse strings.
How curious.
This doesn't make any sense.
I have no idea what's going on.
I'm afraid perhaps it does. This... You know, we in the society, we are not the only ones with the sight or with the knowledge of what others cannot see. We work to use this knowledge to maintain the balance between us, people, life, and that which cares not for us. But these people, all they wanted to do was to make money. And it seems that we got in the way.
Why though? How? Why are we connected to this? This doesn't make any sense. We were minding our business.
Profit does not care for anything but itself. Perhaps we did something, perhaps nothing, but it seems we were an inconvenience to someone who stood to gain much wealth. And, well, Alice has already paid the price. And we were supposed to at the castle. I do not know that we were ever meant to even make it here.
The letter says that we were supposed to meet up with Alice, but that they don't know what we were going to do after that, which is good, right? They don't know where we're going to go.
I suppose, but neither do we. Alice is the one who knew.
So that means that we have a chance for a counterattack. They don't know where we're coming from, and we can now make some moves from here. So let's do this.
Yes, perhaps. Are we satisfied with what is here?
I mean, if you guys are, I'm good.
Have you checked the shelves? Like,
There
more
is
stuff here.
There is still the bookshelves. There is a worktop full of all sorts of vials and odd tinctures. And then there is the opaque display cabinet, which is currently shut.
Astrid sort of nods and runs a quick eye over the bookshelves.
As you take a look at them, they have been organized in such a way that, unlike the previous bookshelf you just seen, the one here is meant particularly for the ease of the viewer. You get the idea that this is perhaps something that's been catalogued should someone be in a hurry and need to find what they need quickly. There are books on Vaesen, predominantly. Books on rituals to summon, appease, cleanse, interact with them. One of them, notably, has been written by one Jason Kelly, entitled A Treatise on Recognizing Vaesen Interference in the Criminal Underworld. On one of the shelves are books on the nobility of Sweden, France, and the Netherlands.
Dagmar, could I see that letter again?
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, do you know I'm not good at reading or literature or whatever. What do you know about this Andromeda reference?
Is there anything that I know?
I would ask you to roll me your logic and your learning, please.
Three successes.
You know that Andromeda is a Greek myth. It tells the tale of a beautiful daughter of King Cepheus and Queen Cassiope, the wife of Perseus. The wife of this tale, the queen, offended nearby creatures by boasting that Andromeda, the daughter, was more beautiful than any. In revenge, Poseidon sent a sea monster to devastate Cepheus's kingdom. The king was forced eventually to make sacrifices to appease the beast. One by one, he sent the children of many to their deaths, until finally he had to send his own daughter, Andromeda, to the beast's clutches.
And did this satisfy the beast in the tales?
I believe Andromeda was rescued in the tale.
It is some sort of code, I am sure, but Andromeda is I believe we have seen it played out before us in a very real way. A tale of offending the creatures of the land and then making sacrifice to them as recompense for that hubris.
All right. Thank you.
With the letter in hand, Astrid would like to sort of overlay this signature, Jonah, Johan, this modified signature over her colleague's name who wrote the book.
Over
Jason Kelly.
Jason Kelly, of course. As you sort of try and reconcile the two, you are extremely adept at telling the certain tricks people use in their handwriting to differentiate themselves, especially so when they're trying not to write as themselves, forged signatures and the like. You notice the familiar handwriting of Jason Kelly looping across the page, but you see no link between his handwriting and this Jonah.
Wait, is that a book by Jason Kelly? He was the one who brought me to the society.
He is quite knowledgeable, yes.
Dagmar, as you're stood there, still clutching these papers, you have to glance down at them again, and the map catches your eye. The blueprints are kind of recognizable, oddly. They show the shape of the beach outside, backed up against the cliff. They show a dock and the office, where you stand right now. They show also, on the opposite side of the beach, where the crags of rock hide a door at a right angle, a small inlet. Past there, the map shows where a long passageway leads to a few large open spaces and eventually ends in an L-shaped room.
Everyone, I have this map. Perhaps we should follow it. It seems like a bad idea, but at this point I don't think we have a choice anymore. What do you think?
Yes. If there is a map, there is a road to follow, I suppose. At least now we have our guidance.
Maya, Johan, could you check the vials and also if there's anything alcoholic dips? I want to take a last look around and then we should go. We should just go. And I want to go see the little cabinet thingy.
Sure. As you approach the cabinet, the first thing that you sort of notice about it is that it is odd. It's locked fairly securely, but the lock doesn't seem particularly sturdy in any way. You think you could probably leverage it open if you had to, or you could jimmy the lock. It's in the kind of style of what you would expect a glass-topped display case would be in. But in this case, the glass where one would usually be able to look into what is held within the cabinet has been replaced by solid oak wood, so it's impossible to see what's inside.
I would like to jimmy the lock.
Sure. Roll me your precision and your stealth, please, Dagmar.
Nothing.
Nothing, oh dear. Would you perhaps like to lose something of yourself?
Yes.
In exchange for a reroll. All right, please make me your pushed roll.
Still nothing.
Still nothing.
Punch the cabinet.
Do you have the anger condition yet, Dagmar?
No.
That is the one you're going to take as you lash out at the lock. Frustrated, your picks break in your hands.
Stupid fucking thing doesn't open.
Dagmar, what's going on over there? Do you need help?
Yes, kick it.
I have another way of doing it. Let's break the lock.
Okay. Let's say, and you're using your sword for this?
Oh, well, sure. Why not?
All right. Physique and close combat, please, Johan.
Close combat sounds about right. Okay, I don't know what this lock is made of, but I've got nothing. What?
I will make you the same bargain. Would you like to lose something of yourself in exchange for another crack at it?
I will not lose to this lock, and I will re-roll for this.
Understood. Please make me your reroll.
I push it, and nothing. How?
Okay. You try time and time again to pry this lock open, and nothing happens. It simply rattles indignantly at you. But as you're sort of swinging your sword around and hoping for the best, your blade catches on something. At the back of this cabinet, there seems to be something protruding from the wall. As you look back, You see it looks like a lever of some kind.
Not what I was going for. You guys seeing this? There's like a lever back here?
All right, I'm pulling it.
Okay. Before that happens, Maya, are you investigating the worktop?
That I am, tickling my fingers upon the desk.
Understood.
Investigating the vials and suches.
There are rows of bottles of various sizes. Each contain different powders and tinctures and tonics. And amongst other odd things, there are small orbs floating in some sort of murky liquid. A bottle of some brown wood chip that has an oddly familiar scent to it. A quantity of some red stringy mass floating lazily in a clear jelly. And a couple of other things just beyond.
Oh. How curious. May I pick up the jars and take a closer look?
Of course you can. As you sort of pick them up and look at them one by one, sort of ignoring the loud noises of your friends physically fighting a display cabinet behind you, you can see that indeed one of them has this odd sort of stringy mass floating and morphing inside one of the bottles. One of them has an odd sort of set of milky orbs in a jelly inside. Another, once again, the brown wood chips. I would ask you to make your empathy and your observation roll as you're looking. You also see one containing grey ash and one containing a sprig of ivy that has been corked and stoppered.
2 successes.
2 successes. You know, as you look through all of these, that the red, stringy, undulating substance appears to be extricated arteries from some sort of creature, perhaps a pig. You are no stranger to various alchemical bits and bobs, and you very much know that the orbs in the littlest vial are eyeballs, but they're too small to be human. You're not entirely sure, but maybe a squirrel? The brown wood chip shavings are perhaps the most troubling for you. It's that smell. That ashy smell. Like something pungent and earthy from deep underground. It's what it smelled like.
Ah. I see. Oh dear.
Everything okay over there, Maya?
As one can be, I suppose. What could this be here for? How? May I place these upon my pockets?
You may indeed. The other 2 that caught your notice are grey ash. They do appear to be human remains. And the sprig of ivy that oddly matches the heart that Dagmar picked up in the tunnels.
How curious. It's almost as though these are taking steps upon our journey, yet in vial form? Huh.
As you consider this, Maya, Johan, you point out the lever. Dagmar, you wander over and you yank it back. Astrid, you watch this happen from back by the bookshelf as something begins to register within the walls of the building. You hear something thunk into place and a whir as pulleys begin to turn, straining against the ropes. And as you watch, beside the display case, some of the floorboards begin to lift, resolving into a trapdoor that thuds against the wall of the hut and comes to rest, unveiling an open passageway with a ladder leading below. Visible through the opening is that same blue glow. And that is where we will take our break, folks. Thank you so much for joining us for this first half of episode 5 of Dark Tide Rising Waters. We hope to see you again very soon. Please don't go anywhere. Emotion can be a handy gauge for people in terms of figuring out how the world will react to them, or how they react to the world. A lot of the time it's very useful. Empathy, for example. Emotion is at the core of empathy. However, on the flip side, it can be a detriment. And this is what our Thursday's children are slowly finding out. Dagmar and Johan, as you are once again bested by this opaque display cabinet, staunchly holding its secrets back from you in this cabin, in the hidden cove that you have found, you both find yourselves angry. Angry at the situation you're in, angry at nothing making sense, angry at all these puzzle pieces that seem to fit together but in incomprehensible ways, all emblematic in the way of this cabinet that just will not allow you access. And it's as you grill over this, you see the trapdoor unveil itself to the side, and your gaze once again focuses back on this cabinet. Whatever happens next, you have to know what's in there.
Dagmar reaches into her pouch and pulls out the knife that she found a little bit ago, that she wrapped into linen, because the moment it touches something, it withers away. She unwraps it and just stabs it into the door.
Okay. Make me your physique and your close combat. Add an additional dice for use of the blade.
Three successes.
You plunge this knife into the lock that has bested you and Johan, both of you having taken the anger condition as you feel the roiling emotion claw at the insides of your stomach and claw up your throat like angry, raging beasts bursting out from their cages. You take the blade and you plunge it deep, feeling the lock shatter beneath your hand. You feel the resistance begin to give away as something, although completely inanimate, something within it seems to die. Something within it seems to break apart painfully, slowly, as though decaying sped up. And you watch as the lock itself blackens and begins to liquefy, hissing as though corroding. The lock itself drips away down the edge of the cabinet, rendering it completely inert.
Dagmar, what did you just do?
I stabbed it. Because I get into anything. And I open the cabinet.
As you swing the cabinet open, you can see that the items within have been laid out almost reverently atop a plush crimson velveteen cushion. The items themselves are instantly familiar. You came across one just like it very recently. There are 4 steel bracelets, each of them fashioned to look like a delicate cuff. On the front of each bracelet is the same symbol with slight changes, a wheel with spokes breaking the edge. The first bracelet has only the 1 spoke, the next has 2, the next has 3, and the final has 4. Each has a paper tag attached to it, varying in brittleness and age, upon which a name has been written and an age. The oldest tag, attached to the 1-spoke bracelet, reads Rita Hanmark, 17. The next reads Micah Flynn, 25. Aaron Fletcher, 21. Natalia Reynolds, 23. As you reach the 4-spoked bracelet, you notice the 5th tag laid next to it, not attached to any bracelet. It reads Alice Leander Smith, 24.
What the fuck is going on here?
Something rather dreadful, I fear.
Dagmar grabs the cloak that she still has with her from the other ritual room that like gave her a vision, and she puts it back on, like hoping something will happen again.
The cloak you retrieved from the underground.
Mm-hmm.
As you sling it about your shoulders, you don't see anything, but you feel a presence almost. Something warm and comforting. And as the cloak settles about your shoulders, it's almost as though you feel two hands rest atop your shoulders, as though comfortingly.
This doesn't help.
I believe the energies within this room are tense. Am I mistaken in feeling that? Friends?
Rarely, Maya.
We can relieve this. I'm sure of it. With this, I like to pull out the dried flowers that I took from the sacrificial room way back at the lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to almost sprinkle it upon my hand and place it upon each of my friends' heads. I take a moment to look upon the flowers. And I remember that nature can be kind. And we had already passed a botanical item that did a world of wonder to the energies between Johan and I back down the dark tunnels. Astrid. Astrid? Astrid?
Yes, Maya?
Your pocket. Do you not have a flower upon it?
Yep. Yes, this is the flower you gave when you and Johan rejoined us in the tunnels.
Yes. May you remove it?
Here you are.
Thank you. How does thou work?
As you hold up the water lily in your hand, you recognize from before the way the petals enclose something within. And as you hold it, you notice that glow begin to emanate. Perhaps at first you thought it was the glow of your lanterns, but no, this is a self-contained light from within the petals itself. It's a white light from something inside the flower.
I would like to peel back the petals gently and reveal.
You peel back these petals, and all of you see, Johan, this is a familiar sight for you, but Dagmar and Astrid, you've never seen this happen before. You see a small pearl nestled within this water lily, pristine and iridescent. An opalescent shimmer coating its surface. It's beautiful, and you can't look away. It captures your eyes as you look at it, and you feel something warm in your chest resonate with the light that it itself is emanating. As Maya holds it up, there's a gentle pulse that emanates out from the light itself, resounding outwards and hitting each of you, rippling through the air like a sound wave. And you feel a warmth throughout your limbs resonate with it. You're all going to eliminate all of your mental conditions as the light from this pearl soothes your mind. For just a moment, everything makes sense again. For just a moment, you're able to think clearly, put things in perspective. And then you hear a small chuckle at the back of your head, almost just over your left shoulder. A small, low chuckle that retreats back out once again. And the pearl stops glowing.
Thank you. With this, I encompass the flower and place it into one of my ruffles. I feel like the energy is cleared. For a moment.
Yeah, going through that for a second time doesn't get any less weird, actually. Wow, that was intense.
What happened? What was that?
I wish I could explain. But I believe the flower emits warmth. Or at least the pill within.
Very strange.
Maybe we can get another one of those things. Just, keep it in the back pocket again, probably get like a few of those, a few pastries. Just, that'd be kind of great.
Looking at the flower and seeing its magical, this magic take effect, it reminds Dagmar that she still has the flower heart with her. And she grabs it and she's like, okay, this is my final shot. I need to speak to him, to someone. And she plucks off another flower and eats it in the hopes of once again, reaching someone or seeing something.
Roll me your logic and your empathy, please, Dagmar.
Right.
Oh, sorry, logic and empathy? That's incorrect. Well, we'll keep it as that. What is your pool for your empathy and observation?
It's 5.
It's 5? All right, well, we'll leave that as it is. 1 success. As you once again pop this ivy leaf on your tongue, you sort of force it down. It's not bad tasting. It's earthy and herbal and pungent, and reminds you of all those times as a child you were dared to eat the leaves of various bits of foliage and flora in and around where you were at the time, and instant regret that followed. Not pleasant at all. As you chew on this and force it down, however, those memories are joined by the sound of utensils clinking, the sound of doors being thrown open, and the of curtains, light linens fluttering in the breeze. As this happens, you turn around and you see, standing there at the door to the estate, your home. You see your father and your mother, and they stand there and they look at you, and your mother says, "Darling, come on, come inside. You'll be late for dinner."
What? No. You're. This didn't happen. This isn't real. Is none of this real? Where's Wenzel?
Come, child. Wenzel is nearby. And we are all as real as you or the walls within which you stand. What are we if not stories, after all, my dear? She crosses over to you. Long, sure strides. Your mother was always an imposing woman. She held absolutely no qualms about what she wanted in life. She crosses over to you and takes your face in her hands. My love, do not trust your eyes. Trust the blood. We are stronger for it. Trust the blood. And it's as those words are uttered and you feel the warmth of your mother, you smell her perfume, that you are yanked back once again out of the vision, back into the room surrounded by your compatriots.
All right, that didn't do what I thought it would.
Eating a leaf?
You okay?
Yes, No, I don't know. Okay, I just want answers. So let's go get him, shall we?
Let's do it.
Dagmar, is this passage here, is this marked on that map that you found?
What passage are you referring to?
This door that opened in the floor.
Oh, right. Of course. Is it?
As you look through the map, you see how, once again, it's almost double layered. There is the topmost layer, which contains the docks and the cabin, the sheltered cove, and an entrance to the other side of the cabin, directly opposite, a cave entrance. That cave entrance loops around, below the ground, through the sharp cliff that you ventured down to get here, and it conjoins the cabin underneath it. You get a pretty good idea that that's most likely where this trapdoor is headed.
It seems so. I think it loops into the cavern. Should we take it?
Well done on finding this shortcut, then.
Thanks. You know what? Let's go.
Yes, let us not tarry.
Okay. As you head below into the subterranean level here, there is a ladder that allows you ingress into that same pool of green-blue light. And as you descend, the sound of the waves follows you, joined by the rush of running water. As you reach the bottom of the ladder, you turn to see a hollowed-out cavern where rows of barrels are neatly stacked up to form alleyways of stone and wood. Directly to your right, the cavern's floor has fallen away into a deep blue pool in which seawater cascades from a hole in the ceiling. That pool is lit by that bioluminescent blue glow. And as you stand there, you cast your gaze to the other side of the cavern, where it ends abruptly in a thick, oddly symmetrical wall that seems out of place in this natural cavern.
I am sure I do not need to remind everyone to perhaps be careful not to fall into the water. I do not trust it.
So where do we go from here?
Perhaps there, that part of the cavern, that wall does not look quite natural. This is a den of thieves and smugglers, and that may bear fruit.
As you, Astrid, lead the charge towards this odd partition wall, you can't help but notice as you lift your lantern up with the aid of the bioluminescent glow behind you that the brickwork is fresh. There are no signs of water damage, and it seems to stand completely at odds with the rest of the cavern. Scrawled on it in what looks like chalk is that Bible verse again. In full this time, completely written out in its entirety. Matthew 14:13-21. Next to it, one of the barrels has been pulled closer. There is a spile jammed into the side of it, and 2 tankards discarded on top. The remnants of old alcohol perfume the air with a bitter, tangy odor.
Johan, you spent a fair amount of time hauling certain bricks in the lighthouse. Do these look familiar? Do they look like the same style of brick to your eyes?
Maybe a little bit, yeah, actually, now that you mention it. Why?
Sure enough, Johan. They're identical.
Why do you ask?
Then our task to breach to the other side may prove more difficult. Those were quite sturdy bricks.
So we just need to find a way to knock down the wall, right?
I suppose, yes. Unless it is fresh enough that it is not set, perhaps pushing it over may be easier, yes.
All right, you know what? Let me just give it a shot. Stand back, Granny. I got this. I was done in by a lock, but this wall won't hold me back.
Perhaps let us see if there is a better tool for the job nearby.
I guess we could do that too.
If I remember rightly, you brought the crowbar with you, one of you?
Right, I did.
Dagmar does have a crowbar on her.
Or we could use this.
I like that. Let me borrow for a second. Perfect. Wall 1v1 me. Let's go.
Is anyone helping Johan? And if so, how?
Yeah, you go first.
I would like to spur Johan on with cheers from within.
It fuels
that
me.
He can do this.
All right.
I offer a real big gulp for inspiration.
Inspiration juice, understood. Astrid?
Astrid takes a moment, holds out her hand for a moment, and takes a moment to try to see if there's any part of the wall that is the most freshly set, perhaps, or if there is a brick that is maybe not out of place, maybe chipped a bit somewhere to make a good beginning.
Understood. Johan, make me your physique and force roll with 3 additional dice for the help of your friends.
The power of friendship. Let's see what we can do. 5 successes with the power of friendship.
Okay. Astrid, you point out over the course of maybe 5 minutes where the wall seems to meet in odd places. You can tell that whoever built this up, whilst they did a fairly good job at it, they seem to have spent a while doing so. They were clearly not skilled construction workers. They have left very obvious signs of decay, indentation. And as you go to look around and find these, you're able to point them out, and you're able to pinpoint in the very middle where one stone seems the most unsure of them all. And it's as you point this out, Johan, you bring your arm back with an almighty crack that resounds around the caverns itself and seems to almost reverberate in the very underground of the island, almost in the foundations of the earth itself. It seems to carry like a lion's roar, not a lion, an entity from beyond time itself, something loud and aggressive, something out there in the universe, something that's throat is larger than the sun itself, and it reverberates around this cavernous space. And as it does so, you hear a kind of crumbling noise and a crack. The bricks begin to separate. Staggering staccato partitions appear in the rock, and just like that, it comes clattering down before you, revealing a dark tunnel.
Johan, I will
Just
be
like
very
that.
honest. Did not expect you to bring down the entire wall, but well done.
That
Well,
was
again-
really impressive.
With the power of friendship, our bonds transcend most things. Remember that. We're stronger together.
Most things indeed.
It's as you're looking at this space that's been unveiled, do you realize the darkness goes on for a while, but the reason you can see so far into it is this bioluminescence almost continues. The pool behind you seems to snake alongside the side of the wall itself, sort of making a small cutting river that disappears slightly as it merges with the rock and then re-enters the cavern directly where you have brought this wall down. It snakes on ahead. Perhaps 20 feet or so ahead of you is where the bioluminescence ends. It sort of trails off as though weakening and then giving out, and then seems to open up once more into a larger pool of water that cuts across the cavern proper and seems to be heading out to the sea. You can see that there is a gap in this rock where, although the bioluminescence has ended, the light of the outside world is filtering in shortly before the cavern takes a sharp left turn further into the rock face.
Well, let us proceed. Maya, I do not trust my own senses of what is safe here, but you have always been attuned to this.
This, Maya instinctively understands what Astrid is saying and buries her feet into the ground and listens and smells and allows it to hopefully emit any sort of energies that may be ahead of us, or helps answer something upon the breath of the wind.
Your empathy and your observation, please, Maya.
One success.
One success.
Yes.
As you ruminate on the path ahead, you keep getting caught in where the light ends and then begins again and then ends. And you see that where it looks like daylight up ahead, there is more of this glow. You get the idea that maybe that's where the cavern briefly meets the outside world, meets the beach again, just below the docks, below the level of the wooden planking that has been set up upon which the cabin sits. And you get the idea that you'll have to go directly past that in order to go further into the caverns. And it's as you're ruminating on this that you begin to hear a lilting tune, a lullaby at the back of your head. is calling to you, and it's curious, but it's also wary and territorial and confused. It doesn't know you. It's not the voice you heard before, it's something else. Something similar but different. And it's as you're ruminating on this that you happen to turn slightly, just in time to see something move in the depths of the pool behind you. Something quick and misshapen, making its way towards the surface.
Huh. Friends? Friends. Do not move too quickly. Do you not see that upon the corner of your eyes? Just there. And with this, Maya slowly turns her head to face what may be ready to question us upon, well, stepping upon its home.
You see something else move in the water from where you are watching, and then another. It's not just one shape, it's two. And there's a hand now that reaches up, slaps down onto the stonework, breaching the swirling water of the pool. There are long, jagged talons that end its fingers, and it begins to dig these talons into the earth as it pulls itself up and forward. Shortly after the talons, after the sallow flesh of the pale limb, another one follows, smack, and it pulls. The arms attached to the talons' hands looked wrong. The fingers are webbed, the joints are brittle and skinny. The skin is sallow and translucent, showing unformed musculature underneath, and the two creatures pull themselves out of the pool to reveal skeletal, emaciated forms, no bigger than a few feet tall, some with limbs slightly missing or malformed as though they haven't grown properly yet. Their eyes are milky, pale white in their hairless heads, and their mouths are just large enough to crack the face in two, open to show rows of jagged teeth. As they emerge, they begin to drag themselves slowly towards you. I would like each of you to roll me either a logic or an empathy test.
It looks like the waves are not on our side, it seems.
Do we have any successes in the party? No.
Not a single one. Oh, wow.
For bad little children. As you watch, each of you feel the fear grip your soul, threatening to rend it from your very chest as your heart begins to beat arrhythmically, almost in time with the jerky movements of these odd creatures, and each of you are going to take me the fear condition as you feel it jam an icy shard into your resolve. As you watch, one of them seems to be leading the other in an odd dancer-like motion. It takes another step towards you. And as it reaches, you see how, in one of its hands, there is a familiar object. It's a small pastry, waterlogged.
Dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
I see you received our gift.
I do not know what to suggest here. I feel that maybe it's best we trundle our way down the caverns. Perhaps, friends?
As you keep going, you take another few steps back. The one that was lagging slightly behind takes its final steps out of the pool. And you see that around one of its legs, Johan, there is another familiar object. It's a lace, a shoelace, wrapped once, twice, 3 times around its ankle.
No way.
And they're just slowly making their way towards you.
It is them.
It was you!
Shh, 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 shh.
You hear it go, "It was you!"
Maya?
Maya!
Say something.
Shh.
Friends, I believe these may be the creatures beneath the waters that have been following us this journey.
Maya, as you talk, you hear them trying to mimic you, even as you're trying not to let them hear you. And it results in this kind of odd, jumbled mess of sounds that doesn't really register as sound at all, just ambient noise. It's almost perfect mimicry.
Dagmar starts moving her limbs to see if they copy the movements.
One of them, the one with the pastry, takes a look at it, looks back at your hand, seems to be analyzing it, and then empties its hand. The pastry flops to the floor, spatters, and it begins to jerkily mimic what you're doing.
Dagmar starts to dance slowly, not jerkily, just slowly with steps.
It steps forward and it begins to do the same, getting ever closer to you, one step at a time. And with every step it takes, its motions get more fluid, less jolty, more dancer-like, more agile.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, Dagmar. Dance battle. See if it mimics the chicken dance. Been working on this for a long time.
It's about 10 feet away from you, Dagmar. It's completely focused on you.
Can I read its expression? Can I read if it's how it's feeling?
Make me your empathy and observation roll, please.
Right. Two successes.
It looks hungry. It takes another step forward.
I start to dance backwards.
Please make me your physique and your agility.
All right. One success.
It lunges for you. Talons out. Fangs bared. Almost at a right angle, its face seems to crack as it goes to sink its teeth into your shoulder, and you manage to dodge back out of the way just in time. The other one, seemingly emboldened by its partner's motion, dances back a couple of steps and then slightly to the side, and it appears to be stalking around the edge of you, And it's at this point that we are going to draw ourselves some initiative. All right. Now, for those of you unaware of Vaesen as a system, instead of rolling for initiative, we pull cards. Now, Free League have been kind enough to give me some beautiful initiative cards, which we'll be using today. As you can see, they're quite stunning. Now, please keep in mind that the closer you are to 1, the better your chances are. Dagmar. Unfortunately, you've been caught off guard, it seems. A 10. Maya. You perhaps have fared a little better. A 5. And Johan, much better indeed. A 2.
Let's go.
Congratulations. Let's hope it helps. Astrid, my dear. A 3. Now, I will be concealing what the entities will pull here today. However, you may get the idea fairly quickly. As this scene begins to play out, and all of you begin to react to the situation at hand, the one closest to you, Dagmar, this creature, goes to lunge for you again. Would you like to use your fast action to dodge it?
Yes, please.
Please make me your physique and your agility roll to see if you can get out of the way.
One success.
One success. You manage once again to dodge it as it lunges forward towards you, its talons slashing, this time aiming for your chest. It appears to be attempting to take a chunk out of you. And the creature that stalked around the side of you all takes a moment, looks at you all up and down, turns on its heel, and dives elegantly back into the bioluminescent pool. Johan, what would you like to do?
The creature that dove at Dagmar, as she dodges that one, I want to go in for an attack as she dodges it.
Okay, please make your physique and your close combat roll for me.
All right. One success.
One success, good. You lunge and you try to impale this creature. And as you do so, you land a clean hit into the side of its mal-shapen body. You hear it scream. A horrifying, all too human sound. Something you hadn't considered that it would be able to make with its throat. But as it does so, scream it does. And there is a discordant wailing that echoes throughout the cavern as you hit. But it appears hurt. Astrid, what would you like to do?
Seeing the scene play out before her will steel herself and they will jump off to the side and try to distract and lure the creature away from where it is trying to take a chunk out of Dagmar.
Okay. How are you trying to get its attention exactly?
She will wave their arms, away their arms, and yell at them.
Okay.
Yell at the creature. Horse.
make me your empathy and your manipulation roll. Let's see if you can get them to do what you want.
One success.
One success. As you yell out, you see this creature's jerky movements return as it turns back to you. And it echoes your words back at you perfectly. But it does appear to be distracted. The entity in the pool, while still present, has retreated back another 10 feet or so and is just watching above the waterline. Only its milky eyes visible above the surface. Maya, what would you like to do?
What a query that is. May I ask about an item within my pocket that may help the situation, or not?
Of course you may.
I have a powdered staghorn within one of my many ruffles. Would that at all help dissuade the attack that is going on upon us? I understand the conditions of using such item.
What are you trying to accomplish by using it?
Possibly to give breath of the attack of this one. Enough to be able to make some sort of line of communication that we did not mean to trespass here. That we are just passing. We do, although Johan may have foolishly decided to injure said creature. I mean, who decides to step upon someone's home with muddy shoes? But is there any way that I can use the powdered horn to hopefully lessen the attention enough for us to just be gone out of its home?
Please, yes. If you roll me your empathy and your observation for your use of your magic, we will be able to see what we can do.
Unfortunately, nothing.
You reach for the power within yourself, trying to bring it to bear, bring it to manifest, clutching this powdered staghorn. It's almost a grey-brown, brittle ash in your palm, but you know the feel of it, and you know the feel of it resonating with what's in the room with you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's a fickle beast, and this time it doesn't connect. It doesn't know what it's looking for. It can't... Something about these creatures, something about the way their minds are not quite formed yet, leads you to believe that that connection cannot yet be made.
Rats.
Dagmar, what would you like to do?
I would like to take a stab at the one that was attacking me, and that's currently distracted by Astrid.
Of course you can. Please roll me your physique and your close combat.
I also would like to add that I'm using the dagger, the decaying dagger.
The decaying dagger adds an additional dice to this roll.
So what was it? The close
combat, please, with your physique.
Yes. All right. Nothing.
Nothing.
8 dice.
You slash out at this thing. And as you go to do so, you feel something resist you. You feel something push back. Something angry. Something feral. As you go to use this object of man-made destruction, whatever just remedied your mind, whatever was in that pearl seems to bite back at the very inside of your mind, causing a flash headache that spurs across your eyes in a red, blinding flash. And you miss. And then you hear in the back of your mind, how rude. Is there anything else you would like to do?
How much am I still allowed to do? within this turn.
You may still take a fast action if you would like.
I would like to switch out this dagger with my regular dagger.
Mm-hmm. As you do so, you feel whatever presence was in your mind retreat slightly. We once again come to the top of the round here. The entity, having turned to you, Astrid, bares its teeth and is going to take a run directly at you, sprinting, as if to try and tackle you into the pool behind.
I will try my best to get out of the way.
Please roll me your physique and your agility.
No success.
You feel this creature slam into you and its arms wrap around your body. And in that instant of weightlessness, as you feel your feet lifted off the floor, you feel the momentum pushing you back. And there's a moment that you're floating. And then with a splash, Astrid collides with the top of the pool and begins to sink. Astrid, you are encompassed in glowing water. You still feel skinny arms wrapped tight around you. You aren't being dragged down yet, but you can feel it's only a matter of time. Johan, what would you like to do?
I am definitely going to go running after Astrid, and I'm going to dive in and try to go for the save.
Okay. Please roll me your physique and your agility, as this is a test of quickness.
2 successes going after my friend.
2 successes, fantastic. You sprint forward, skidding across the cavern floor, using the mirrored surface of the water upon it as a kind of propellant. And as you slide, you reach your arm down into the water and grab hold of Astrid. Grabbing her by the arm, you pull her up out of the water and you manage to get her waist up out of the water to the point where she is no longer submerged, but there are still those skinny arms wrapped around her. Astrid, what would you like to do?
Just instinctively kick out and try to dislodge this assailant and scramble onto shore.
Your physique and your close combat, please, my dear.
No successes.
No successes. Unfortunately, your flailing kicks connect with nothing. This creature's body is skinny and lithe. And where the limbs should be, very often they aren't. You are unsure what this creature could be, even at this point. And it's at this thought rattling through your mind that you realize that it is not dislodging. Maya, what would you like to do?
From observation, it seems that the way it is attacking is maybe not quite so territorial, but maybe more out of like primal urges to feed. I did take some of those jars from the table above, some of which contained almost offal kind of meaty tendrils, some with eyes, some that were just that of meat. Could I perhaps not find a way to take off these lids and throw them into the water as almost some kind of like final ditch offering of feeding and satisfying these creatures?
All right, for this, make me, once again, your empathy and observation. You're trying to tap into the same wavelength as these creatures.
1 success.
1 success, fantastic. You pry off the lids of these jars and you see as you dig out the veins or arteries or whatever it is in this kind of odd jelly, there is the eyeballs. various other bits of shredded offal. You run to the edge of the pool and throw it in. And as you do so, you see the creatures watch its passage. The one clinging onto Astrid lets go and swims back 20 feet to join its friend in the pool, and they both lunge for the vials. As they begin this almost feeding frenzy, whatever is in the vials begins to leak out into the pool proper, a red stain emerging amongst the blue and the green and the iridescent algal blooms, like shark attack. And they devour the offerings. Look up at you, Maya, both of them, in unison. Nod. And once again sink below the waterline.
Okay, did not see that coming. And Maya, why do you just have random body parts on your person? Like what?
I don't think this is the time to ask questions, Johan. I think we should make haste upon the caverns, where
Putting a
it
pin
may
in
be
it.
safer to discuss. I think.
Dagmar. Oh.
Go on, Dagmar.
Dagmar pulls Astrid out fully in case she hadn't.
Thank you, Johan,
You're welcome.
Dagmar, Maya. Let us go. Let us go.
Let's get out of here.
I offer Astrid the robe for drying herself off.
Understood. Astrid, you're incredibly shaken and nervous and soaking wet. But as you drape this robe around yourself, begin to pat yourself down, you once again feel the weighty heft of the thick-knit wool. You feel an almost comforting sensation as it drapes around your form, and you pull it tight against the chill. And as you make your way towards where the caverns would lead you deeper into the island, you once again feel on your face the salt tang of the sea spray, the breeze of the outside world, the crashing of the waves. Not inside the cavern, but just outside of it. The creaking of the wood as the piers and the docks make themselves known to you. And as you enter where the cavern breaks to unveil where you are now beneath the docks themselves, where the cavern turns off to the right, leading further into the caves, you see that the outlet showing you the water, the glow has grown larger. It's almost to the very end of the cove now, lighting the very walls of the cave. You see below the waterline something huge twitch and move gently, like a gigantic trunk. It gently wafts in the water. And then you see something else, something iridescent and gentle, slow-moving, unhurried, wind its way through the water. A fin breaches the surface and disappears. And each of you in your minds hear that familiar lullaby. And this time, it has a direction. And that, folks, is where we will leave our Thursday's children for tonight, facing the waters of Vreta Isle and the caverns beyond. Thank you very much for joining us, each and every one of you. We value you. And our Thursday's children will once again be here next week at 8 p.m. British Standard Time, where we will find out what exactly waits in the water. I have been your Game Master this evening, Gabriel, or at Good and Chaotic. You can find me various places all around the internet, mostly Twitter. That's where I do a lot of my yelling. Even on TikTok if you're brave enough. I will now go around each of my cast members who have joined me here tonight and let them introduce themselves and where you can find them when I am not traumatizing them. Maya, take it away.
Oh, hi. I'm Mizuki outside of the land of Maya, of Peculiar and Strange. Equally strange, but a bit more chaotic. You can find me on Twitch, where I like to stream horror things because I can't get enough of traumatizing myself.
Absolutely. Johan.
What's going on, guys? I am Super Anthony, and I love the anime and do a lot of anime things and weavy things in between that. So you can come hang out and we can just chill and vibe.
Vibes indeed. Astrid.
I've been your damp scholar today, but usually I can be found playing all sorts of different games. Surprise spooky game this month, but generally just cozy vibes, hashtag educational every stream.
Fantastic. Dagmar.
I am Zara Zodiac. You can find me under that name pretty much anywhere, but mostly on Twitch, where I play Oblivion and pretty much any game you can imagine, because I made a promise to play every single game that I own, which is dumb. So, yeah, come on over.
But great fun, absolutely. And of course, we here on screen couldn't make this happen without all the people who work so hard to make it behind the scenes. I forgot to do this last time. I'm terrible. I'm sorry, guys. I love you all, but I'll double hype you up today as recompense. How about that? So we've got our wonderful Lily, who's my glorious and beautiful co-writer. She feels my brain screaming and my generalized shrieking and my keen and general nonsense. She is my hype person and I love her dearly. Thank you so much, Lily. You're an angel. Harry, also a hype man. You're the best, my dude. Thank you for sticking around. Valen, who is our producer, he has been working so hard to make this show work so fantastically. He has perfected the bringing up the dice roller in front of my face when I'm doing a thing, which is just fantastic and magical in every single way possible. He's great, very talented person. Thank you so much. Who else have we got here? Southpaw. Southpaw does all the amazing visuals. He did the intro where you see all of our wonderful faces doing spooky things before the game. He's also done our various visuals for the marketing. Thank you so much, Southpaw. You're the best. Very talented individual. Please check him out on Twitter and the various other places around the world. Then we have got LSP, who did the voiceovers. Goldie, who also helped with voiceovers and editing. The squad of this show is genuinely marvelous. Thank you so much to each and every one of you and to my glorious cast for once again letting me put them through hell and back. I'm so sorry. Yes, and that's it. And thank you to chat. Thank you for watching. You guys are the best. I've said that way too much. I'm repeating myself. Okay, join us once again this time next week. Adventure Tavern Shenanigans. Vaesen will be back. And until then, in case you miss us, Adventure Tavern will be back on Sundays, 7 p.m. BST. We're going to be playing some Commander. Come hang out. Come say hi. It's going to be vibes. It's going to be great. You will even see the wonderful Valen hanging out, I think. So, great. Cool. Love you all very much. And see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel for more shenanigans. Good night. And don't let the monsters bite.